The US has no culture. That's the joke of the year because everybody in my family wanted me to bring them a cowboy hat. So yesterday I got one of my uncles a cowboy hat because if you don't know me, I'm Italian and I've been living in the US the past almost 2 years. I haven't seen my family also in this long time. Finally, I'm going back to Italy Saturday. And yeah, I got this cowboy hat for my uncle. I got it at Boot Barn. This is made in USA inside. So I thought it was really nice to see that it was made here because that's all I asked. A cowboy hat. America has no culture. Yeah. And then I got my dad this cowboy belt that has the targets on it. Oh, no, these are like I don't know if I can say it. You know these? Okay, because he's a hunter, so I thought this was adorable, and that's what I got him. It's a belt.
Can you believe I've lived in America nearly 2 years and I'm still discovering new things? So I'm always honest with you on here, and before I moved to America, a lot of people had said to me that America has no culture. It's a very young country compared to England, where I'm from, and the culture in Boston, for example, can be similar to London at times. But the first time I went to the South, which was South Carolina earlier this year, and I've just come back from Savannah, Georgia, I realised how wrong people from outside of this country have got the whole America doesn't have a culture thing. In fact, I feel like America has some of the most diverse cultures within one country. The Southern culture is so unique, worldwide and in the US. There's one particular piece of the South that I think really highlights how much culture this country has got. And I've only just touched the surface. This one piece that I'm talking about is the Gullah Geechee people. Now, if you're watching this and you're not from America, you may have no idea what I'm talking about. What the hell is Gullah Geechee? I know for a fact that none of my family at home know what that is. They're descendants of enslaved Africans that lived across the coastal areas of South Carolina and Georgia. And they managed to preserve so much of their African heritage, so much so that they created their own language. Now, forgive me for not knowing all of the facts because I've only been to one very small exhibition in South Carolina that was led by Gullah Geechee. I've learned I can already tell that this needs to be said because the language that they've created is a Creole language which mixes English and African influence. There are people that speak this language today. There's also people that aren't Gullah Geechee that can speak it. Now, you tell me how that is not a culture.
Americans are uncultured and untraveled. That's what everyone says. But that's not true, and here's why. People often say that Americans never leave America. They criticize that a lot of Americans don't even have passports. Just because they don't have passports doesn't mean they are uncultured or untraveled. If you realize how big America is, you would realize that Americans don't need to leave America ever. You never have to leave this place. Every single state is like a completely different country. And no word of a lie. Every different state has different scenery. It could be mountains, lakes, forests. And each state has completely different weather. Even where I'm located, I can be in the Red Rocks one morning and drive 40 minutes up north and I could be in the forest. In the mountains, 10 degrees, 15 degrees cooler than it is here. Like, I don't think you fathom how big America is. There are so many states. You honestly do not have to leave America at all. You don't. That doesn't mean Americans are uncultured. America is a massive, massive place. So don't let it be said that Americans are uncultured or untraveled. They just don't need a passport. And they don't need to visit the rest of the world if they don't want to.
For years, Americans have been criticized by some Europeans who claimed the United States lacked its own culture. But now many European visitors are starting to see things differently. After experiencing America for themselves, they are realizing that American culture is much deeper and more established than they expected. Many are even encouraging others to look beyond the usual stereotypes and discover what America has to offer. Now let's hear what they have to say.
Americans are uncultured and they're not very well travelled either. Or at least that's a very common misconception that gets thrown around about Americans. And I even get American people commenting on my videos who are aware of the fact that that's a misconception that the rest of the world may have about them and that it pisses them off, and rightly so. So if it isn't true, what is the truth? And why does everyone think that they are uncultured? Okay, let's first of all look at why do we travel? Well, certainly a British person, weather is at the top of that list. We want some good weather because the weather's shit in the UK. We want to look at some stuff that we haven't seen before, whether that's like Roman ruins, for example, whether it's a natural wonder, whatever. We like to learn things, educate ourselves, try a bit of the lingo and order some food in a different language, okay? So that's what we do from traveling from the UK to maybe Italy, Spain, France, and Greece, and further afield. So what do Americans do that's different to that then? Well, they will either drive from point A to point B if they're going to do a bit of a road trip across one state to another or multiple states, or they will too get on an airplane the way we do, except they take off in America and land in America. But that flight that they take might be double, triple the time that yours would be flying to Spain, for example, from the UK. And when they get to their required destination, they will look at things that don't exist in their state that they've never seen before. They will probably eat foods from places they've never eaten before, which will be different cuisines to what's available where they're from.
Listening to this visitor makes one thing clear. He believes America has a distinct culture despite what some Europeans have claimed for years. Many visitors are now discovering that American culture is far more developed and influential than they expected. From entertainment and food to fashion and everyday life, American culture has influenced people around the world. America may be a younger nation, but it has still created traditions and a cultural identity of its own. These experiences are changing how many Europeans view American culture and proving that it cannot simply be dismissed as having no culture.
I have a quick rant for the Europeans. When you travel anywhere in the world, you have to do your research, and that includes the United States. I keep seeing all these what I ate in 7 days in America posts, and it's like a Twinkie and...
Listening to this young woman makes one thing clear. She believes America has its own strong culture despite what some Europeans claim. Many visitors are now recognizing that American culture has influenced people around the world. Americans do not need to travel abroad to prove their culture because it has already spread globally through entertainment and lifestyle. These visitors are now encouraging Europeans to move past the idea that America has no culture. Instead, they are seeing the United States as a country with a unique and influential cultural identity.